All right, welcome back to Big Board. We're going to try doing just some standard playthrough. I may or may not provide color commentary as we go, depending on the number of errors I begin making. We'll see what happens. So OCS, the Forgotten Battles. If I recall correctly, it's scenario 3, perhaps, and. Starting 15th of December, 43. It's about 6 turns. Gone through all the preamble. It's really move time right now. And in actual fact, in my last video, I had mentioned that I was going to do a series of attacks around the map. On further reflection, I have since adjusted where the supply is allocated and placed at the start of the game. And I'm going to really try and focus on this corner section here so that we can push in and try and isolate as much of this as we can, number one. Number two, look at these 2 hexes here to try and crack in there with the same goal being to push into this area here roughly to try and isolate the majority of the forces. Not a lot left there, right? You can see this line of Russian colored hedgehogs. They're actually German units, but we've got this little pocket evolved here and we want to see if we can knock that out. So no hip shoots available for the Russians, so that means that any prepping to get units into DG mode will need to be done with artillery, which is expensive to use, although I do have a 30 strength one here that we can probably use. I've got both of the main, the two biggest formations in reserve with a look that hoping that we'll have an opportunity to bust through here somewhere. Probably going to focus on these 2 hexes, even though this is a 5 rated AR. And this guy here, let's see, I don't know. Yeah, 16.4, but it's full strength, I think. No, it's not full strength. See, I'm not supposed to be doing this, technically, right? But we kind of know what the setup strength is at start, so it's not a big deal. All right, let's see. Let's see what we want to do here. There might be some counter shuffling we need to do. So I think what I'm going to do is pause the recording right here, move a few units, and I'll recap what went on. Just because I don't think you want to see me fiddle around here. Okay. Actually don't have too much to move, I don't think. And I'm really just going to focus on movement here. And we're going to run through the exercise of combat resolution reserves and all that sort of fun stuff and reaction phase. I don't know that there's a lot that is going to go on up here, but if I do see something later on, I will go ahead and move it anyway. So we're going to do things a little bit out of sequence, but for the purpose of the exercise for the video, this is how we're going to do things. So we'll pretend like this is the full turn. So movement, we've got air and naval. Air, naval, there's obviously no naval. So we'll do some air strikes, and we're going to have to pull enough factors in on, let's get these out of here, and let's just put a marker where we want to do airstrikes first. So they're the 3 attack zones I think I'm going to hit, and then I want to try and get these guys that are in reserve either with artillery or 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I've got range to that. So let's see what happens. See what we can do here. So let me just pause and find some air. And before we start running combats, I do need to do an air sweep on this hex here. And this hex here actually, but I just did that, and this is the only 5 rated fighter that I have, and we rolled a 5, which is an attacker abort, which is bad, which means that these guys will be able to attempt to intercept any air that goes on here, so that is good to know. The roll is 2d6 plus or minus the difference between the air ratings. So there was no difference in the ratings, and therefore a 6 or less gives you an attack or abort, which is a shame. So we will carry on from there. So the Germans obviously will attempt to intercept. And they roll a 7, which means both abort, which is good for the Germans. And by good, I mean they got the fighter to leave, but the bombers are still going to go in, unfortunately. But now we will have a flak roll. Oh, and we rolled 9. That flak roll is a 9, as I mentioned. We're going to have to add 2 because the mission now has no fighters, I believe, which makes it an 11, and that means that we'll need to take losses out of here. And we roll a die, and we get a 2, and it's the second unit down, takes a step loss. So we're just going to, doesn't really matter, they're all the same, we'll flip one over. And now I've got 18 plus 5 going in, so that's 13 on this table here. They're in woods. Don't think that's going to make too much difference, but we'll just check. Close terrain, we'll actually shift it 1 to the left, and we need to check the stacking. And now I'm wondering why I put the groovy little marker on it. So it's going to be, well, it's a whole division there. So 2.5 re, which is 1 to 3, so no shift for that. And we need to roll 2d6 and 1 in case we potentially get a step loss. And I can't see what that is. 2 and 4 is 6. 6 on, how much did I say? I can't remember now. 22 or something like that. That's going to be just a DG. So we'll put a DG marker down. You said scrambling for 1. Trying to drop that bad boy in there. Pick up these guys. They go back to base and they're flown. So put them under the marker. That's probably not where they came from actually, but that's okay. Let me actually put them where they belong. Oh dang, I found another 5 fighter. Well, that's good actually, because we're going to do another round. So here's a 5 rated fighter. He is going to try and do a patrol sweep on that guy. So we'll roll that on a 0. I'll roll the 6 this time. 6 or left. That's also an attack or abort. Dang. Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty shitty die rolling to start off. I will now attempt to hit this hex here with 8, 16, 24 plus 1 escort. So we'll put those guys there. We'll use this chappy here to intercept. He's going to roll. He rolls a 7, which is actually, that's a +1. That makes it an 8 defender aboard. So that's cool. So we'll pop him back there. And now we get to attack these chaps at a +2. Oh, 6 plus 2 is going to be 8. You know what I need to do also is... hey, that's enough. Roll a die for the abort. And I roll a 3, which is going to be no loss. Okay, now here I've got to do... I forget if I rolled for this or not, but it's a +2. So we'll roll for it again. 8, I think I did roll for it. 8 is an abort, and it is going to give a 5, which is a step loss to this guy. And he will abort. Go back to base here. Okay, so we're going to keep, we either need to abort here or face the wrath of this combat, this air fight. And I'm kind of inclined, since there are no replacements, to abort here and just go back to base and call bygones. This guy, he goes back to base. He was successful with his interception. He remains active. He's still going to get to do whatever he wants as far as interceptions go. All right. So nothing there. We can still do artillery on this hex. I really wanted to get that one actually because I had a 5. Maybe I should keep going and try. But the strength, if I lose another step, that's going to take it down. It would be 4. And it would abort too, so I might only have 8 strength, and then we've got almost no chance, a limited chance of hitting this. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll just have to use artillery. So now we'll try this hex here. I'm bringing 3 bombers and an escort. So we'll just pop these over here this time because I know I'm going to smash the board at some point. And I've got 1 escort. We'll roll that. It's going to be +1 on the intercept. And I love how the dice always roll where I can't see them. There will be a step loss, but it's 7. 7 plus 1 is going to make it an 8 or more. So defender aborts. So once again, this guy aborts, but he also loses a step. So we'll put him over to the left, over the right, over there. And now he's going to get to go through and attack these parenthesized guys. Or I can abort. I got to hang in there. I got to try. Now it's going to be +2. I need to roll. There we go. So 5 plus 2 is going to be a 7. Both abort. Okay, that's what we wanted. So that guy aborts, and now he's done. And this guy aborts, and he's done. We'll put him back over here. And now we go in with just the 2 chappies on this hex with its strength of 16, and we've got a flak. Flak roll. Flak roll, please be low. Is 6. So they're going to be fine. And now the attack goes in with strength of what? 16. So we'll do that. On the barrage table, I rolled a 4 plus something. 4 plus 6 is 10. What did I say? It was 16. So a 10 is going to be a 1, 2. But I have to roll the die for that. And I roll the 4. So that's not going to make it. Or is it going to make it? I forget. Bracketed, I think. Oh, you know what? We don't do it because it's bracketed. All right, so that doesn't happen. Oh, I didn't check the mods on this hex. Maybe I get 1 shift to the right. I said 16, and we have a division, but it's going to be 3 steps. Oh, so it's 3.5 steps, 3.5 re. So it would have gone 1 to the right with a 10. That now does make it a 1, 2. So there is a step loss. Ooh, nasty. And there was a +1 on the flak. Okay, what did I roll? I rolled a 6. +1 would just make it a 7, so that's not going to matter. You know, I think I'm going to take the step loss here. I need to get these off here. We'll just flip this guy. So I'm going to take him down to an 8. And DG'd. Come on. All right. That's the air phase done. So I think what we'll do here, since we now don't have any other patrol zones, is let's try and hit this hex here. I'm bringing in 13 factors. Here, there'll just be a flak roll. Oh, it's not good. That's a 9. Oh, shit. 9. I don't think that's going to make it. I don't think that's going to cause a step loss. Let me just double check the flak table real quick. No HQs, no air bases, no on-map flak. It is in a patrol zone. The mission has no fighters or +2. I said there was a 9, 10, 11. Dang it. That is going to make a dent. So that's, where'd they go? Here they are, here. So I rolled a 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll be the second guy. That's my bomber. But they go in. That's 8 and 3 is going to be 11. So 11 factors on this hex here. 7. Oh, that gets it, but it goes 1 to the left because of it's just 1 re. So that's a miss. That was expensive. That doesn't knock them out of reserve. That's what I was trying to do there, was knock them out of the reserve mode. Was there anyone else I could have brought to the table? No, not really. They're all crap. If I had brought 11, if I had brought 1 more, I still wouldn't have made it. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Okay. Right. So now we've got to try and make some attacks here. But first we need to have supply and reactions. Everyone's in supply at the start. I'm not even going to fuss with that. There is a reaction phase. And given that before we do these attacks, we will attempt with this artillery to fire at this hex here with 12. That's not good. I rolled 2. All right, I've got to pay for that. I'll pay for this off screen here. That's a 2, and he gets some change out of that. He gets 3T back. There's 2T and 1T. They'll make that. Let's just grab this guy, 3T that way. All right. So his reserve marker comes off. Well, now I'm going to try and mess up this attack for these bad guys. I'm going to move the tigers. Oh, I can only move half. I probably should have had him flipped over at the start of the game. I'll give myself the benefit of the doubt there. And we'll have to pay 1T to do that move. So we need a 2T from here. Yeah. All right. Now what? Now I guess I can move. Well, 1. Yeah, I've got to cross that river. Now, the river's frozen. Let me just check the terrain effects chart. Stand by. Frozen track, minor river +2. Yes, I would need to be in move mode. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to there. So what we're doing there is bumping up that AR rating, so when the Soviets attack, it's a tad more painful. Or the other option is we go here. You know what? I think I'll go here. And I guess, you know, technically, I don't know, I'll leave it like that. Okay, so there you go. Now, I'm going to pause the video, run the odds, run the calculations, and then come back and we'll talk through it and roll the dice. I'm such a dog. I still get to do the artillery barrage, and I want to use this guy to do an artillery barrage on this hex here. So we're going to spend 30. It's going to cost me, I think that's going to be a full SP. So we'll just take an SP from here and roll 2 dice. Oh. 6, and that's a division underneath there, right? No, it's not. It's just 1 re. Shit. 1 re. So that's going to go 1 to the left on the 30 column. That's the 25 to 40 column. So it goes down to 17 to 24. So that will be a DG. Just. Close enough is good enough. I can't get the counter. Bear with me. Pop that bad boy in there. I could do that in the right order. I believe I did. Yeah. Barrage segment. All right, so that was the barrage for that guy. Done and spent. I have an opportunity to do another barrage. I can do a barrage here on this hex, and that would knock that down to a 4, make the differential just 1 instead of 2, but it's expensive to do that. 28 factors is going to cost me 4 again. So I think we're going to do that. And hit this hex here. 1, 2, 3. It's in range. 7 is going to be a DG, pretty much no matter what. 9 times out of 10. So that'll hit that hex there. Oh, wrong way. Shit. Oopsie. Where was I attacking? Here, right? Ah! No, here. This guy. Yes. So now everybody's DG'd, right? Even those target tanks. So that's good. All right. So they fired. So that's it. So now I'll run the odds. All right. So where do we get to? This hex here. I think you can see everything here, right? This all adds up to a 33 versus 9, which is a 3.6 to 1. So that would roll up to a 4 to 1. And it's going to be in wood, which will be close terrain. And we need to do a surprise roll. So let's do that. And the modifier is going to be, that's a 4 and a 3. It's going to be -1. I rolled a 7. There's going to be no surprise. But let me just double check and make sure there's not a surprise for the attacker. Very close, actually. 5 or less would have been a defender surprise, which would be attacker surprise, defender surprise, which would be bad. All right, so let's fix that. Let's actually just roll for that right now while we're here. Not a good roll. 6. All right, 6, and I said it was 4 to 1 in close. 4 to 1 with a 6 with a -1 on the die roll because of the differential in the ARs. I'm going to write this down. I just lost it again. A 6 -1 becomes a 5. AL1, DO1. I'm going to pause everything here for a sec. Okay. We're back. So I rolled a 6, became a 5. We got an AL1, DO1. So that means the attacker just loses a step and stays in place. So these guys now will need to make their decision about whether or not they take their option and stay in place or retreat 1 hex. And I think given this little location here, he said smashing all the pieces around the map, that they would be well served to take step loss. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a step loss. I'm just going to eliminate this guy for them. So that's 1 for them. And I'll take a step loss with this guy, which is expensive actually. Wow. Yeah, I got to do it just to hang in there for the turn at least so I can get my guys out. So that's painful, but that's what we got to do. You bugger. All right. Put these guys back in here. Now, we had to pay our 2T for supply for the defense, and we had to pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6T here for these guys, which we will do right now before I forget. And that's all going to come from here. So there's 1 and 2. And now I have restacked these probably in the wrong order. Okay, we'll just have to pretend like we know what we're doing here and put these guys back this way. There we go. All right, that was unsuccessful. All right, looking back down here now to execute this attack here. I'm attacking from this hex across the frozen river. We have halved a total of 6 factors, and then here attacking, I think it's a total of 26, and that will net us out at 4-1, but we've got to do a surprise roll, and the surprise roll is going to be even Stevens. So where's my little die? And once again, I can't see the freaking number. Oh, okay. Just 6, one lesson, that would have been 6 shifts against the attacker. So it's going to just be sitting at 4-1 with no change to the die rolls at all. Oh, this is a better return. No, it's not. It's actually the same attack, actually. 4-1 in the open, however. A01, D01. Going to write that down. A01, D01. Now here, the attacker is going to he'll take his step loss. These guys now will have to choose whether or not they will take step loss. And I believe in this particular instance, I would like to retreat. So we will do that. And we will retreat 1 hex to here. These guys will take a step loss. Oosh. So brutal. This is why, sometimes you think about the Eastern Front games and late war in particular, and you think, oh gosh, it's just going to be a total beatdown for the Soviets. Sorry, beatdown for the Germans. And it won't be any fun for either side, and you've got, complications and just masses of units, and it's just going to be a walkover. It really is. Well, not with this system anyway. So they retreated. We took our loss. We can advance into that hex, and we will do so. Now, we've got this last attack here, so stand by. All right. Now, last attack was also expensive. I paid for it out of here. It was, I think, 5T. And obviously the Germans paid their 2T as well with their retreat, etc. All taken care of. Now we've got this little attack here. This is going to be a net of 4.5 versus 39. So quite a substantial difference. So it's 8.5 or 8.6 to 1. Got to roll for surprise. There is going to be a minus 1 on the die roll for the surprise roll. Germans need a break here, and they get it. So they roll a 12, so that's going to get them surprised, and they're going to get 4 shifts. Sorry, the Germans. The Soviets need a break here. So plus 4. So 8.6 to 1 rolls down to up to 9 to 1. And then it goes up 4. So it's going to be max odds 13 to 1 in the open. However, we are subtracting 1. Did I say that? Yes, subtracting 1. Or is it even? Subtracting 1. And I roll a 7, which makes it a 6. That's going to be at AE4. AE4 DL102. All right, that's not a good result for the Wehrmachty boys. DL1 is going to be a step loss, so we'll lose the alert battalion. It goes back into the pool. Put him over there. We'll have to spend our 2T. Put that in the bucket. And these guys have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 T to spend. We'll spend all this here. There's 2 here. And I get 1 back. And that can be thrown by this HQ here. So these guys go back into here. And now I've got an AE4. I'll just see if I can find it. Well, it doesn't matter because none of these units have an AE4. But now I've also got a retreat 2. So I'm going to go back into my hedgehog. That's perfect. 1, 2. Thanks for saving me there. Do I want to go there though? Go 1, 2 to here. We could do that. We could do that. And they're DG'd as well. So that goes there. Now, these two hexes, right? Advance into the hex, and I'm going to use these guys to do that. You know what? I'm going to put the best, yes, put all this strongest stuff in first. Eek. And we'll leave these other chappies on the road. Right there. All right. That is all of the combats we are going to execute. What would now happen in a typical turn is, if we just pull out our little sequence of play guy. Whoa, nearly knocked the whole camera. That would be bad. So we went through our combat phase. We would have our exploitation phase. There is no exploitation happening other than if we want to move our reserve units. And that's something I'm going to have a look at in a second. And then we would then do cleanup, and then we're going to go to the German turn. So let me pause the camera. Let me have a look at releasing my reserves to see if I want to try and push through this narrow little gap here. It's not much of a hole, but it's a hole. So let's see what we got. Yeah, this is interesting. All right, so we'll fuel the 5th tank, and we'll send them in. And 5th tank has a swagger, guys. We're going to need to, in order to get everybody into where we want them, we will need to go 1, 2, 3 to here with this armored unit and run a carpet for the trucks so they can get through, and then 3 to there, and then we will do 4 to there, and then the rest of the guys, 7, 14, 21 factors, 3 brigades plus some assault guns. Now I could attempt to overrun this hex here, but I want to get adjacent to Vitebsk right off the gate. In fact, let me see what's in this hex to see if I can keep moving. Yeah, technically, no. Okay, I would, well, yes, I guess I can, because I've got all the other truck-based stuff back here, but I think we want to go 1, well, actually 1, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 5 to here, but now it'll be, yeah, let's do this, 5 to here. All right, that's those guys. Now, I've got 2nd Guard tank here. They're going to try and move as well. I'm going to move this off here. I should put the, I'm going to put the truck somewhere safe here for the moment. And we'll do the same thing with 2nd Guard. Just give me a second to check out where we want to go. Yeah, so if we fuel 2nd Guard and we go down 1 onto the road, then over the frozen river with the road on it, so there's no extra cost. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 5, 6, 7.5 to there. These guys have a movement rate of 8. We'll pop them there. I'm going to bring the 3rd Brigade. Flip them over. And we will bring them with a 12 movement to here. And I think I'll put, you know, let's keep these 2nd Guard guys all together. So I'll flip this dude over as well. And this nonsense, I should have put him on the bottom. Shoot. Let's just do this. There we go. Okay, so that's that reserve off. That reserve off. The HQ will stay where it is. There was 2T left, I believe. So that's these guys. So I need to just move that off. I need to put the truck up. We'll put the truck here. Actually, we will move the truck to here, and that way they can pick up supply straight away. And this reserve dude can't go anywhere because we failed here. But that's interesting. Turn 1, we're adjacent to Vitebsk and we're blown through here. I decided to go this way because the victory conditions are capturing Vitebsk, and I think doing that is probably more important than trying to cut these off. You know, alternatively, I could take these two stacks of guys and I could put them here. It's an option, something to think about. I'm curious what you guys think, whether it's better off to get closer to the target. You know, we would be isolating all these units here at the moment, almost. They've probably got, this is the edge of the map here. So potentially we're isolating this small stack here, or do we want to try and isolate the huge stack, the huge area? Or capture the victory conditions? Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll probably pause it here. Thanks. Have a good one.